One myth pushed by the radical left is that the nation's founding fathers supported slavery and wanted the evil practice to continue. But the evidence points to the opposite. Republican Abraham Lincoln did a pretty good job debunking this claim in the late 1800s. In Lincoln's Cooper Union speech, he proved that the majority of the framers of the Constitution were against slavery. He noted that out of the 39 framers, 23 had been questioned about banning slavery in the new territories. Of the 23, 21 of the 23 voted to ban it. Here were his exact words. Thus the 21 acted. And, as actions speak louder than words, so actions, under such responsibility, speak still louder. 2 of the 23 voted against congressional prohibition of slavery in the federal territories, in the instances in which they acted upon the question. But for what reasons they so voted is not known. The remaining 16 of the 39, so far as I have discovered, have left no record of their understanding upon the direct question of federal control of slavery in the federal territories. This was an excerpt from Lincoln's speech that he gave on February 27, 1860. It is unknown how the 16 would have voted, but they most likely would have voted like the rest. Even when you exclude the 16, a vast majority of the constitutional framers voted against slavery. Abraham Lincoln during his Peoria speech, also argued that the Constitution directly led to laws and regulations that put an end to slavery practices. This is what Lincoln said. In 1794, they prohibited an outgoing slave trade, that is, the taking of slaves from the United States to sell. In 1798, they prohibited the bringing of slaves from Africa into the Mississippi Territory. This territory then comprised what are now the states of Mississippi and Alabama. This was 10 years before they had the authority to do the same thing as to the states existing at the adoption of the Constitution. In 1800 they prohibited American citizens from trading in slaves between foreign countries, for instance, from Africa to Brazil. In 1803 they passed a law in aid of 1 or 2 state laws, in restraint of the internal slave trade. In 1807, in apparent hot haste, they passed a law, nearly a year in advance to take effect the first day of 1808, the very first day the Constitution would permit, prohibiting the African slave trade by heavy pecuniary and corporal penalties. In 1820, finding these provisions ineffectual, they declared the trade piracy, and annexed to it the extreme penalty of death. While all this was passing in the general government, 5 or 6 of the original slave states had adopted systems of gradual emancipation, by which the institution was rapidly becoming extinct within these limits. Thus we see, the plain unmistakable spirit of that age, towards slavery, was hostility to the principle, and toleration, only by necessity. This was an excerpt from Lincoln's speech that he gave on October 16, 1854. So, as you can see, the founders were against slavery. Some of the founders might have had slaves, but the evidence clearly shows that they had every intention of banning it. Anyway, that concludes my video. Check out the article "The Constitution Supported Slavery Myth" for more information and sources. The link will be in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.